Good afternoon, I'm Abbi Ashley. Little did I know that by applying for AVID 5 years ago, my life would be altered forever. When I walked into the office as a sixth grader, by luck or chance or whatever you want to call it, I noticed AVID applications lying on the secretary's desk. With no outside influence, I picked one up. I wrote my essay on why I wanted to be an AVID, and I knew from that moment on that this was going to be the longest, the hardest, and the most worthwhile experience of my life. Inconsistency was always a part of my life. My mom and I moved from place to place, occasionally living on the streets. When we were living in a house, my mom would get beaten up by the person who said he loved her. There had to be a better way of living than scrounging for food, digging for pennies, and always having black eyes hiding underneath a pair of sunglasses. I have never met my father, and the men my mom associated with were abusive. What upset me most was I had no way of getting out of this kind of life until I was old enough to voice my opinion. I was being forced to live in a world I wanted nothing to do with. Drugs and alcohol were always present. I learned to roll a joint at age 9, and I always knew when certain people came over, they were bringing the green stuff. Normal kids had working parents who provided well for them, but I had a secret. We made a living by selling pills and weed. When we had no place else to go, my mom always found complete strangers to take us in. Most times, the houses were infested with cockroaches and mice. My brother and I would have to scrape up change just to get a hamburger from McDonald's. I remember once foraging outside a burnt-down house just to have a meal that night. School was always a priority for me, no matter what my home life was like. I still got up and went to school every day. It wasn't easy, but I knew it had to be done in order to have a different future from the life I grew up experiencing. Life was hard alone. I always wished I had parents like all the other kids. Thankfully, my neighbors were nearby to help. Even though I was not their own child, they made sure I had food and clothes on my back. Middle school seemed so much more promising. We moved in with my grandma the same year I applied for AVID. I soon learned that none of these physical challenges I had survived were as difficult as the emotional ones to come. My mom left in the middle of my 7th grade year. She has been weaving in and out of my life since then. Before 7th grade, my mom had always been a physical presence, but now she was choosing to be completely absent from my life. For 5 years, she chose her drug habit over a life with me. In December of 2009, she reappeared in my life. Now I felt like my life might come back together. But after a few months of living with us, she failed at her sobriety, and we ended up taking her back to a homeless shelter. 2 weeks later, I was notified that my mom's drug habit finally got the best of her. On March 9th of this year, the struggle was over. She passed away of a cocaine overdose. I felt like the whole world was against me. I was going to be just another statistic, not a college-bound kid or a good student. Since then, my school career has been a struggle with all of my challenging classes like my AP history course. My thoughts were dominated by doubts, fear of failing, and tough questions. Where was the money for college going to come from? How am I going to become successful? There were so many times when I just wanted to give up, take easy classes to just get by. But one thing I've learned from my struggles is that nothing good comes easily. Sometimes you have to fight. Learning to say that was helpful, but it's hard to fight for something with little support. I didn't realize that I had support to help me since the 7th grade. My support comes from my AVID family. These are the individuals who keep me positive and keep me pressing forward to achieve my goals. From the get-go, AVID reassured me that I could go to college. All I needed to do is work hard, challenge myself with the most rigorous classes I could handle. And of course, it wasn't that easy. My AVID teachers, Michelle Simmer and Andrea Scheiman, have helped me as I've traveled this journey. AVID has taught me so many strategies to help me prepare for college. Since my first days in AVID, meeting the requirement of Cornell notes was a struggle. I thought 3 pages were hard. Now I'm required to write 14 pages. The notes and other organizational strategies, like the beloved binder, have helped me to stay on top of things and be prepared for every class. Tutorials, while not always fun, have helped me learn collaboration, leadership, and problem-solving skills. Tutors are not just tutors anymore, but have become my mentors and have helped me through academic and personal issues. My AVID class is not just an ordinary class, but my family. Amazingly enough, this class has been the only constant thing in my life. I always know these 22 very familiar faces will greet me with a smile every day. My peers will always have my back, and my AVID teachers will do anything for me, hands down. AVID is the support I need to succeed in conquering all the obstacles and my educational worries. AVID makes a difference and helps me get closer to my dreams. During this journey, I decided to get in contact with my dad. I wrote a letter introducing myself and asked him if he wanted to have a relationship with me. To my surprise, he called me, and we are now working on building a father-daughter relationship. I have learned so much in this journey. I think the most important is, though, that life isn't always easy, and I would have to work to get a good life and a better education. I am so grateful for a group of kids, along with a big group of people who have helped change my life forever. Through all these troublesome times, I've become the person I would like to be. I am entering my senior year now and plan to become a middle school English and AVID teacher. My goal is to transform the lives of my future students, just like AVID has changed mine. Thank you.